Sometimes when you find volume, you don't have unit cubes. This rectangular prism on the screen doesn't have cubes inside it, so you can't count the cubes to find the volume. So when that's the case, you find the volume by doing volume equals length times width times height. So you're multiplying the length, the width, and the height. That's going to give you the volume of the rectangular prism. So in this case, you've got 5 centimeters times 3 centimeters times 4 centimeters. 5 times 3 is 15, and then 15 times 4 is 60. So the volume of your prism is going to be 60 cubic centimeters. Now, don't get hung up on which one is the length, which one is the width, which one is the height, because that doesn't matter, because you're multiplying them all. And remember the properties of multiplication. You can do them in any order. So length times width times height. Now, there's another way to do it. Sometimes you know the base of your rectangular prism. You know what the area of the base is. Remember, finding area is length times width. And so if we wanted to find out the rectangle that's on the bottom of this, we could find the area of the base. Area equals length times width. So the base would be 12 times 4. So that would be 48 square inches. And then we can take the area of that base. So that it's the same thing, but sometimes you'll see this in a question. I wanted you to not freak out if you saw that. It means the big B just means the area of the base. Well, we already found the area of the base to be 48. And our height is 8. So then we just have to multiply 48 times 8. 384. And this one's in inches, so it would be cubic inches. Now, that's the same exact thing you did in the other question. You multiplied the length times the width times the height. But you might have a question that says, if the area of the base of my rectangular prism is 12 and it has a height of 3, you would just multiply those two numbers together because you've already done length times width to find the area of that base. If you have a triangular prisms are not a big 5th grade thing, so we're going to do a couple examples because there's some in your lessons that you need to see, but for the most part, you're mostly going to be working with rectangles. But the only difference when you're doing a triangular prism instead of a rectangular prism is you have to divide your final answer by 2. So to find the volume of this triangular prism, the formula is actually 1/2 times length times width times height. Same thing, except you have to divide it by 2 because you don't have as much volume there as you would with the other. So we've got 8, 3, and 6 are our dimensions. So we've got 8 times 6 times 3, and then the whole thing is going to be times 1/2. The way I like to do it, that I think is easiest, is I'll go ahead and get the half out of the way first. Half of 8 is 4. Now I just have 4 times 6 times 3. 4 times 6 is 24. And then 24 times 3, 72. And this is centimeters cubed. Now, it doesn't matter which way. You could take half of the 6, and then you would have 3 times 3 is 9 times 8 is 72. It doesn't matter. Take half of whichever number works the best for you. And then the last example is a composite. It has 2 rectangular prisms. So in this case, you have to find the volume of each of those. So I'm going to start with the top one. It would be 10 times 2 times 2. And then the bottom one, B, would be 12 times 2 times 2. Find the volume of each of those, add them together, and you're finished.